Anyway, as I said, today is the big day of Blake Lively's deposition.
Recent court filings have revealed that she lacked any solid evidence to back up the claims she had made. Throughout the legal process, it became increasingly clear that her accusations were built on shaky ground. With no concrete proof to support the narrative she had been presenting to the public. As the proceedings unfolded, inconsistencies in her story began to surface, casting serious doubt on her credibility. Even more damaging were her own public statements, which often contradicted each other and undermined her position. Instead of reinforcing her allegations, her words painted a picture that aligned more closely with the opposing side's account of events. Her demeanor, interviews, and social media activity were scrutinized. And what once might have appeared as confidence came across as manipulation or even deceit. The turning point came when key pieces of evidence failed to materialize, and testimonies either refuted her claims or revealed critical gaps in her narrative. As these revelations made headlines, public opinion began to shift dramatically. What was once seen as a courageous stand became widely regarded as a deliberate attempt to mislead. Now, with the truth laid bare and the facts out in the open, the world sees her in a different light, no longer as a victim, but as someone who was never truthful to begin with.
Saying that it was because of the smear campaign that she did to herself.
After months of this ongoing circus, she's been orchestrating bouncing between courtrooms, spinning the media, and putting on a performance as the helpless, wronged victim. Her entire legal facade is finally crashing down. It's happening faster than her PR team can churn out their carefully crafted, hollow tweets about empowerment and resilience. The act is up, and the cracks are no longer just showing, they're splitting wide open. This woman has been playing a twisted.
Also said that she never wanted to go public with this information, meaning that she's contradicting herself when she said that Baldoni was a danger.
Her long-anticipated deposition date has finally arrived, and you know exactly what that means. For once, Blake might actually have to step out from behind her carefully curated Instagram filters, staged photo shoots, and perfectly rehearsed public.
You never believe that. And what she's saying now, that she got all this support from other victims when her experience wasn't that bad and she never wanted to go public with it.
The public has had enough. People are watching this unfold in real time, and frankly, they're exhausted. Everyone's sitting back, trying to piece together a story that even Blake herself can't seem to keep straight. One moment she's in tears, claiming she's been harassed and wronged, and next, she's minimizing it all, brushing it off like it was no big deal. Which is it? The contradictions are impossible to ignore. Make it make sense, it simply doesn't. And just when things couldn't get messier, in swoops her husband, Ryan Reynolds, like he's some kind of knight in shining armor. But instead of rescuing the situation, he's only made it worse. Much worse. Trying to protect his image and, by extension, hers, he's gone on a misguided PR offensive, dropping soundbites and statements that read more like damage control than actual support. The result? He didn't put out the fire. He doused it in gasoline. What was once seen as Hollywood's golden couple is now looking more like a cautionary tale in overexposure and misplaced loyalty. Ryan's attempts to shield Blake have only dragged them both deeper into the mud. Rather than clarifying anything, he's added confusion.
And that put Ryan Reynolds in big trouble with his statement.
Speaking of Ryan, let's talk about the complete disaster that was his headline-grabbing stunt at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere back in July 2024. In what was supposed to be a celebration of his latest film, Ryan turned the red carpet into a spectacle for all the wrong reasons. Instead of focusing on the movie, the fans, or even the cast, he took it upon himself to hijack the spotlight, and not in a good way. Standing in front of a crowd packed with A-listers, media outlets, and cameras rolling from every direction, Ryan made the reckless decision to publicly accuse Justin Baldoni of being a predator. No warning, no context. Just a bombshell accusation dropped in the middle of one of the industry's biggest nights. The room went silent. What should have been a career high instantly spiraled into one of the most talked about PR implosions of the year. Whether it was an impulsive move or a calculated attempt to divert attention from his own mounting controversies, one thing's for sure.
Because remember, Ryan Reynolds came out and called Justin Baldoni a predator?
Let me say that again, predator. Not whispered behind closed doors. Not filed quietly in a legal complaint. No, Ryan said it out loud, in public, like he was headlining open mic night at the Slander Club. Standing in front of cameras, flashing lights, and an audience packed with Hollywood heavyweights. He didn't just cross a line, he bulldozed right through it. There was no hesitation, no filter. Just a bold, reckless accusation hurled into the air without a shred of context or evidence. And for what? Shock value. A moment of performative outrage. Whatever the intent, the damage was immediate. Reactions ranged from stunned silence to barely concealed disbelief. And now, as the dust refuses to settle, Ryan's entire defense strategy appears to rest on one flimsy foundation: freedom of speech. That's right, because apparently, publicly defaming someone on a red carpet is just another charming quirk of his larger-than-life personality. Since when did slander become a branding tool?
Said that the smear campaign was much worse than the actually alleged SH.
But here's where it gets even juicier. Blake herself admitted that what happened wasn't even that serious. Let that sink in for a moment. After months of spinning this elaborate narrative where she painted herself as the ultimate victim, dragging reputations through the mud and leaning into the media sympathy machine, she turns around and casually tells reporters that the incident in question was not that bad. Seriously. So while Ryan's out here making red carpet accusations, publicly labeling people as predators without a shred of evidence, Blake's simultaneously downplaying the entire situation like it was a minor misunderstanding. The contradiction isn't just confusing, it's outrageous. One half of this Hollywood power couple is lobbing serious, reputation-destroying claims, while the other is shrugging and suggesting it might have been overblown. Pick a lane. The public isn't stupid. People are watching this unfold in real time, trying to make sense of the whiplash narrative, and frankly, no one's buying it anymore. It's like watching a badly written drama, except it's not fiction, and real lives are being impacted by these reckless statements. What makes it worse is the blatant lack of accountability. Instead of owning up to the inconsistencies or walking back the damage, they double down. Ryan with his declarations, and Blake with her passive, contradictory commentary. Meanwhile, the internet is left trying to connect the dots in what's quickly becoming the most chaotic, unintentional reality show to hit Hollywood. At this point, their marriage looks less like a partnership and more like a synchronized PR disaster to people so out of sync with the truth that even their lies don't match. And as they continue to contradict themselves publicly, one thing becomes clear: whatever game they're playing, it's not working. The curtain's falling, and the audience is no longer applauding.